Welcome to my online class today. I must ask you first if you clearly hear me and see the content page. Please write in your comment box if you hear me clearly and if you see the content page clearly. Please, I see 13 students are already with me in the class. Please write. Please tell me if you hear me clearly and see the content page. Everything is clear, so thank you very much. Now I see, as you have already commented in the inner box, everything is clear, and I see 18 students have already joined my class, but still I'm waiting for you to join more. Actually, I need the class need more students to join because I think that today's class is very important for you. The class is on sentence structure. Today I will try to make understand how a sentence can be formed in an effective way. 19 students have joined only. Uh, any other things clear? I think you have written as Maria Akhtar. Sir, the content page is blurred. Content page is blurred because I think now the content page is clear. I think now the content page is clear. This is the beginning of the content page. Sorry. This is the beginning of the content page. Starting. I think you're finding no problem with anything with me. So as you see on the content page, the title on the top, sentence structure, And today I will hold my discussion on three types of sentences: simple, complex, and compound. Of course, there is another type of sentence, complex compound sentence. That's another thing. But before going into discussing the three kinds of sentences, simple, complex, and compound, we should have some preliminary knowledge. We should have some primary knowledge or introductory knowledge on some terms. And I have termed it as preview, some related terms and ideas. You see phrase and clause. That means before understanding simple, complex, and compound sentences, we have to know what a phrase is, what a clause is, and how they are effectively formed. You see, phrase. A phrase is a group of related words with no subject and or main verb. That means a phrase doesn't have any subject nor have any main verb. Phrases are incomplete. That means phrase can give us a sense of meaning but never gives it complete meaning. It's very important to know a phrase is incomplete. That means a phrase never gives us a complete meaning, but it gives us a sense of meaning, an unit of meaning, a unit of meaning. Examples: on the street. So, on the street indicates that somebody is on the street. The location, the place, to sleep all day. Action, someone was there to sleep all day. Action of sleeping. And the duration, all the duration. Playing piano, it's another action, continuous action. A hot, dry climate. A hot, dry climate. Just a noun phrase indicates a noun with an adjective. So this is the idea you can grow about a phrase. All these four phrases give us a unit of meaning, a sense of meaning, but not a complete meaning. But when we go into a clause, we will have an expression of meaning, complete meaning. A clause is a group of words that contains a subject and a main verb. There are two types of clauses: independent clause and dependent clause, and these are very simple to understand. I think when you were in class 9, 10, or even 8, you had some idea about the clauses. Yet I have to tell you something about this. Independent clause, a group of words that contains a subject and the main verb, of course, because a clause always contains a subject and the verb. Complete, that means a clause gives us a complete meaning and can stand alone. Can stand alone. Examples: he enjoys listening to music. He enjoys listening to music. It's a sentence and as well as a clause. That means when a simple sentence becomes a part of a greater or bigger sentence, it is actually called a clause. He enjoys listening to music, as we say, as we tell. It's a simple sentence, but it's a clause. He enjoys listening to music and loves Bengali music modern music, Western music, then we will say there are two clauses. He enjoys listening to music, one clause, and the other clause, another clause is, and loves Western music and loves Western music, another clause. So these two clauses, it will make a long sentence, compound sentence anyway. But for the sake of making you understand about the idea of a clause, he enjoys listening to music. He is the subject, enjoys what? Listening to music is the object. Canada is the world's second largest country. Canada is the subject, it is the verb, and the world's second largest country is the complement. This is not an object. Anyway, and these are the examples of independent clause. And now you see dependent clause. That means when a clause depends on another clause for its clear-cut meaning, it is then a dependent clause. A group of words that contain the subject and main verb, but incomplete, can't stand alone. Example, you see, when the sun sets. When the sun sets, the sun subject sets verb, word conjunction, but these words, this clause cannot stand alone. We reached Cox's Bazar, or we usually reach Cox's Bazar when the sun sets, or I usually go back home when the sun sets. So I usually go back home. This is the independent clause, and when the sun sets is the dependent clause, because if we want to make the meaning of this clause clear, when the sun sets, this clause actually depends on this clause. I usually go back home or come back home. And then, unless we change our strategy, you see, we cannot use unless we change our strategy. We cannot write or use this clause alone without the help of another clause. Unless we change our strategy, we cannot become successful. We will not become successful unless we change our strategy, which is located in Italy. Which is located in Italy. যেটা ইটালিতে অবস্থিত, you know, very famous club where Messi plays. Messi plays in a famous club which is located in Italy. So if we want to make this clause meaningful, we have to add this clause with another clause that is independent. So I think you have understood the point. Now, based on phrase and clause, I am giving you this test. You see and try to understand and guess the status. Believing in yourself. It's a clause or phrase. After the president speaks, it's a clause or a phrase. The teacher always comes prepared. The teacher always comes prepared. It's a phrase or clause. Before the examination, clause or phrase. Why Mona Lisa is smiling? Clause or phrase. The Alps are breathtaking. Alps, you know, it's a mountain, volcanoes mountain in It is perhaps in Switzerland, Alps. Anyway, so you see, believing in yourself. There is no subject, no verb. So it's a phrase. After the president speaks, he speaks the main verb, and the president is the subject. So it's a clause, and it's a dependent clause. The teacher always comes prepared. It's a clause, and it's an independent clause. শিক্ষক সবসময় প্রস্তুতি নিয়ে আসে। Before the examination, no subject, no verb. So it's a phrase. Why Mona Lisa is smiling? Yes, subject and main verb. So it's a clause, but dependent clause, not independent, because it doesn't give us any clear-cut meaning and cannot stand alone. The Alps are breathtaking, fantastic. So it's a clause and gives us a clear-cut meaning and can stand alone. So it's an independent clause. Thank you very much. So I want to go back to see if you are facing any problem. I ask you, my dear students, if you have Messi play in Spain club. Yes, thank you very much. Spain club, Spanish club. Thank you very much. Uh, Ronaldo, sir, Messi play. No, Mr. Sajjadul Islam Tasim, MD Sajjadul Islam. Thank you very much, Tasim, for giving the correction. Actually, I forgot the club's name. I've forgotten the club's name anyway. It's CR7. It's CR7, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You are actually giving me feedback. Actually, I'm grateful to you. Sometimes there may be some misinformation because it's not possible for me to tell you all information clearly. Sometimes I may commit mistakes. So if you know the information correctly, please, you must give the correct information. Thank you very much. Yes, Spanish club. And what is the meaning of Alps? Alps is the name. Thank you very much, Sajid Hassan. Alps is the name of a volcanic mountain. Volcanic mountain. Okay, there is eruption of volcanoes, and perhaps it is in Switzerland. Perhaps. And any other problem? Sir, why a number is dependent? Why a number is dependent clause? So thank you very much. Why a number is dependent clause? Thank you very much. And I'm going back to why a number. Why Mona Lisa is yes. Thank you very much. Why Mona Lisa is smiling? Why? কেন Mona Lisa হাসছে? So you try to understand. This clause doesn't give us a complete meaning. কেন হাসছে? আমার জানা নেই। অথবা এটা একটা রহস্য। Why Mona Lisa is smiling is a miracle. It's confusing. Is not known to anyone. Okay? Then the sentence becomes clear. That's why it's a dependent clause. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Sajjadul Islam Tasim. This is the very right way and very interesting way or reciprocal way to develop the class. That means you also have a great role to make the class effective. And you are doing the right thing with me. And really, I thank all in this regard. Now I am again going back. You know, there are as many as 4 types of sentences in English grammar on the basis of structure. That means if there is one clause or more than one clause and the nature of the clause. If there is one clause, it's a simple sentence, very simple sentence. And if there are two clauses, it may be a complex or compound. If one clause is dependent on another clause, it's a complex sentence. And if the two clauses of the sentence are independent, it's a compound sentence. And when there are more than two clauses, two independent and one dependent, then it's a complex compound sentence. Actually, we seldom or rarely write or like to use compound complex sentences. And I must suggest you not to use this type of compound complex sentences. And now, part one, simple sentence. A simple sentence is very simple. How to build a simple sentence? I think it's very easy. The clause sounds very easy. How to build a simple sentence? Of course, this expression, of course, sounds very easy to you, and I agree with you. The simple sentence. The characteristics or the nature of a simple sentence, or how we can understand that it's a simple sentence, contains one independent clause. A simple sentence contains one independent clause, one clause, and that must be independent. Then there must be a subject, and the predicate must contain a subject, needs a main verb, must formulate a complete thought. That means a sentence must give us a complete thought, complete idea. These are the characteristics or features of a simple sentence. Example, Andrew plays classical guitar for elderly people at a retirement home every weekend. You see, the sentence is in the present indefinite tense because the action actually takes place every weekend. The time is not definite. Time is not definite in terms of tense. That's why it must be present indefinite tense. Andrew plays classical guitar for elderly people. I want to tell you, if you write for the elderly, then we need not write people. That means we also can write Andrew plays classical guitar for the elderly at a retirement home. Vidhashram, as you know in Bangla, retirement home, Vidhashram, every weekend. It's a long sentence, I think. Andrew plays, Andrew subject plays what? Classical guitar, object for elderly people, prepositional phrase. At a retirement home, prepositional phrase. Every weekend, adverbial phrase. So it's a long sentence adding a number of phrases. So if we want to make a sentence long, we have to add phrases that we want to put meaning with. And now simple sentences can have compound subjects. A simple sentence can have a compound subject, that is more than one subject. Andrew and his sister. Andrew and his sister teach music lessons for children. So you see, there are two subjects. And that's why the verb teach, not teaches. But if there was only Andrew, then we would say Andrew teaches music lessons for children. Okay? Simple sentences can have more than one verb, just like the subject. A simple sentence can have more than one verb. And you plays classical guitar for elderly people at a retirement home and teaches music lessons for children. Simple sentence can have more than one verb. One verb is plays and the other verb is teaches. We use a sentence to tell something sensible in full. Try to understand the meaning. We use a sentence to tell something sensible, that means meaningful, in full, complete meaning. The simplest sentence is an imperative. It can even be a single word. However, a simple sentence shows a complete idea. Just see, run, live, work. So you see there is a single word and the word, all the word is a verb. Run, দৌড়াও, live, চলে যাও, work, কাজ করো. It just there is a symbol, a mark, a note of exclamation to express excitement, excessive feelings. Okay, so this is the simplest form of a sentence. It's of course a sentence, though neither a subject nor a main verb. Okay, the above words express full and sensible ideas, so they are sentences. All of them have a common subject you, but they are unmentioned. Run means you run, live means you live, etc. These sentences are called imperative in English grammar. Imperative sentences are used to ask someone to do something. Of course, there are other four kinds of sentences: declarative, interrogative, optative, and exclamatory. And I am sure you know all these type of sentences. That's why in my today's class, I won't go for discussing these terms. They are rather longer and can have a subject and a verb in them. Okay? And now the longer sentence, how we can make a sentence long and long and longer and longer. Just try to understand. Subject plus verb. This is the simplest form, simplest structure, the shortest structure. Other than the imperative. Imperative ছাড়া অন্য যেগুলো আছে, declarative, interrogative, okay, optative, and exclamatory. Declarative means assertive. Declarative means assertive, as you know. He runs, she left. They are working. So present indefinite, then past, then present continuous. They can be made longer by adding some components. That means adding more information. But these are not essential. These are non-essential part of the sentence. He runs. Yes, he runs. The sentence is complete, but he runs slowly. Adding an adverb. He runs around the park, place or location. Where he runs? Around the park. He runs every morning. When he runs? Every morning. He runs around the park every morning. Location and the time. He runs slowly around the park every morning. So manner, how he runs, where he runs, and when he runs. That means if we want to put all these different but necessary information, we have to add these phrases, add these words to the sentence. He runs. He runs how? Slowly. Where? Around the park. When? Every morning. Okay? She left before the sunshine. She left before the sunshine. And the last one, they're working on a project to benefit the whole community. They're working, it's a clause and complete clause, but we need to add more information. Where does he work on a project? Why he is doing the work? To benefit the whole community. So these are the additional information that you need. So when we need to add additional information, we have to make the sentence longer and longer and longer in this way. Part 2, complements, very uh, important idea for you to know what comes next. Complements is the part of a sentence, but neither subject, nor the main verb, nor the object. But it is essential that if you don't write the complements, the sentence will not be complete. So the words or the phrases, even it may be a clause that makes the some sentence complete is a complement. See, to make a sentence grammatically correct and complete, one question is very important. What comes next? He likes. But what? He wants. But what? He go. Where? So when we mention these things, these are complements. She likes to go to Cox's Bazar. To go to Cox's Bazar is a compliment. She likes potato, compliment. She likes sweets, compliment. He wants water, compliment. He wants to go just now. He wants to leave the institution, compliment. We go where? We go to college. So the to college is the complement. So if we want to make the meaning of a sentence complete, we need complement. The above sentences do not express a complete sentence. Complete sense, I'm sorry. The above sentences do not express a complete sense. So they need something more because they are unfinished. These additional words or phrases are called complement. There are many possible components that can come at the end to make each sentence sensible and meaningful. You see, she likes strawberries. She likes swimming. He wants to buy a car. She likes getting up. So these are the complement. You see, this is the complement. Sometimes some sentences seem grammatically correct, but they don't sound meaningful and sensible. For example, she likes getting up, grammatically correct. But when she likes getting up before the sun rises, sounds more sensible. But getting up raises a number of questions. When, why, how? And there is the answer. She likes getting up when his sleep is complete. Sounds more meaningful. Okay? So you should try to understand one thing with much importance, that if the sentence is grammatically correct, it may not be effective. It may not carry good meaning. It may not be a good sentence for scoring good marks. So if you want to score good marks, if you want to express yourself fully, completely, you have to write meaningful sentences, sentences with correct complement. Part 3, adding description to your sentences. It has already been done. That means if we want to make a sentence long or longer, we have to add description. Now you see, they can be made longer by adding descriptions. He likes to listen to music. The same thing, repetition. She likes to listen to music while she works. While she works is the description. Okay? He likes traveling countryside, Gramanchal. Countryside means Gramanchal. Countryside. In winter, when it does not rain frequently. যখন খুব বেশি বেশি বৃষ্টি হয় না, সে সময় সে গ্রামের দিকে ভ্রমণ করতে পছন্দ করে। Okay? He wants to buy a car. Yes, he wants to buy a new car. So addition of an adjective. He wants to buy a second-hand car next month. Time. He wants to buy a bright red car. Two adjectives qualifying the noun car. He wants to buy a bright red car for his family. Prepositional phrase. See? Apparently. Adverb. Apparently, he wants to buy a new car. So you see how we can make a sentence longer, more meaningful, more significant. We go to the market. Yes, we go to the market. We go to the supermarket. It's a market, but supermarket. We go to the supermarket once a week. সপ্তাহে একবার. We go to the supermarket once a week where you saw me last month. Where you saw me last month? Description. But for complex sentence, as I have already mentioned, complex sentence contains or has at least two clauses. And one is dependent and the other is independent. You see how to make complex sentences with independent clauses. Sometimes a complex sentence is made of two independent clauses. So it's an exception. Anyway, a complex sentence with two clauses is often joined with a subordinating conjunction. Subordinating conjunction. And I have given the list below. But there may be a coordinating conjunction, a complex sentence as well. Usually, a complex sentence contains or has a subordinating conjunction, but sometimes it may have a coordinating conjunction. You see here, list of subordinating conjunction. What are the subordinating conjunctions? You see, after, although, though, as if, as long as much as though, because, before, even if, even though, how, if, in as much as, in order that, lest, now that, provided that, since, so that, then, that, no, though is repeated. Till, until, unless, until, when, whenever, where, wherever, while. So these are the subordinating conjunctions. Exception, ব্যতিক্রম. Sometimes so, but, and, so, but, and. Sometimes so, but, and. Sometimes so, but, and. These three conjunctions, though these three conjunctions are coordinating conjunctions, but sometimes these three conjunctions are used before a dependent clause. That means in a complex sentence are used before a dependent clause. You see. Anyway, so we should have a notion, have an idea about independent and dependent clause. Independent clause, part of a complex sentence which can stand by itself. একা একা বসতে পারে, কিন্তু একটা সেন্টেন্সের অংশ সে। Dependent clause, part of a complex sentence which can't stand by itself. একা একা বসতে পারে। So, a complex sentence may consist of independent clauses. Just আমি এটা বলেছি এখানে, এই যে এটা কিভাবে হতে পারে? For independent clause plus conjunction plus independent clause, এগুলো কোঅর্ডিনেটিং কনজাংশন হবে। আসলে এটা কোঅর্ডিনেটিং কনজাংশন। এগুলো কোঅর্ডিনেটিং কনজাংশন, সো, বাট, এন্ড, অর, নর, ফর, সো, ইয়েট, আইদার, অর, নেদার, নট, এগুলো সবই আমি সব বলে দেবো, অসুবিধা নেই। You see the sentences how these conjunctions are used in a complex sentence. I will make you understand. He runs around the park every morning. He runs around I have already mentioned the sentence. He runs around the park every morning. So he is in pretty good shape now. And আমরা যদি শুধুমাত্র এটা লিখি, so he is in pretty good shape now, এটা কি কোনো কমপ্লিট মিনিং দেবে? এই ক্লজটি, সেন্টেন্সের এই ক্লজটি আসলে আমাদেরকে বলছে সুতরাং সে এখন ভালো শারীরিক ফর্মে আছে। তাহলে এর সঙ্গে কিন্তু অন্য একটি কথার রেশ চলে আসে। কিভাবে হলো এটা? কেন হলো? সুতরাং এই বক্তব্যটাই কিন্তু কমপ্লিট বা পরিপূর্ণ অর্থ বোঝায় না, প্রকাশ করে না। সেইজন্যেই এটা একটা কমপ্লেক্স সেন্টেন্স এবং এটা স্বাধীন ক্লজ না, এটা ডিপেন্ডেন্ট ক্লজ, ইন্ডিপেন্ডেন্ট ক্লজ না, এটা ডিপেন্ডেন্ট ক্লজ। Am I clear? এখানে দেখো, she likes strawberries. সে স্ট্রবেরি পছন্দ করে। But she hardly ever eats them. কিন্তু সে খুব কমই এগুলো খায়। কিন্তু সে খুব কম এগুলি খায়। এটা কি ক্লিয়ার বোঝা যাচ্ছে? এটা কি আমি যে হঠাৎ করে লিখি এটা, but she hardly ever eats them, এটা কি হঠাৎ করে লিখলে এটা ক্লিয়ারলি বোঝা যাবে এটা? কি কাকে কি বোঝা যাবে? বোঝা যাবে না। সুতরাং এটাও আসলে ডিপেন্ডেন্ট ক্লজ। এখানেও তাই। You should write to her and thank her for the present. তো and thank her for the present কথাটা বললে কি এটা বোঝা যাবে? কোন প্রসঙ্গে কি আছে? এটা কি মিনিংফুল হচ্ছে? মিনিংফুল হচ্ছে না। সুতরাং এগুলি আসলে কমপ্লেক্স সেন্টেন্স। ওকে? A sentence can be pretty long with adding conjunctions and clauses. দেখছো এটা? যে conjunctions এবং ক্লজ যোগ করতে, করতে অনেক বড় সেন্টেন্স তৈরি করা যায়। তার এক্সাম্পল আমি একটা দিয়েছি এখানে। খুব খেয়াল করবে। কেন দিয়েছি? আমি পরে বলতেছি কথা। She likes strawberries, but she hardly eats them. She doesn't earn much money. So she has to be careful how much she spends on groceries. And fresh food is generally more expensive than canned. Canned means preserved, সংরক্ষণ করা, or frozen. তাহলে এই কথাগুলি কি আমরা কি বুঝতে পারছি কি একবারে? Sentence is grammatically correct, no doubt. So আরো অনেক কিছু লেখা যাবে। দেখো, she likes strawberries, but she hardly eats them, and she doesn't earn much money. তাহলে সে স্ট্রবেরি পছন্দ করে কিন্তু সে কমই খায় এবং সে খুব একটা ইনকাম করে না। সুতরাং তাকে এই যে গ্রোসারি কিনতে, অর্থাৎ খাদ্যদ্রব্য ইত্যাদি, ইত্যাদি কিনতে এগুলো তাকে খুব কেয়ারফুল থাকতে হয়, হ্যাঁ? এর খরচ সম্পর্কে। এবং এবং যে ফ্রেশ ফুড যেগুলো সে খুব বেশি দামি হয়, হ্যাঁ? ফ্রোজেন ফুডের চেয়ে। তাহলে এই যে এতগুলো কথা একসঙ্গে বললে এটা কি কথাগুলি ক্লিয়ার হচ্ছে? হচ্ছে না। That means this very long sentence does not give or express a very clear meaning, or the meaning of this long sentence is not very clear to me instantly. চট করে সেন্টেন্সটি পড়ে অর্থ উদ্ধার করা ডিফিকাল্ট। সেজন্য it is not good to go for writing or even telling long sentence. লম্বা সেন্টেন্স লেখার দরকার নেই, বলার দরকার নেই। আমি সেটাকে লিখেছি, but too many clauses in a single sentence are difficult to follow. So you have to limit your clauses to 2 or 3 to communicate the meaning clearly. Okay? And number 5, how to make complex sentences with dependent clause. এটা তো আমরা জানি dependent clause হয় এটা she is taller than I am. You can split the sentence ভাঙতে পারো, no problem. She is taller than I am. এটা ভাঙা যায়? It doesn't make any sense. কোনো সেন্স করে না, তাই না? এটা you can split the sentence ভাঙতে পারো কিন্তু মিনিং আসবে না। She is taller and it's okay. Then I am doesn't give us any meaning even. More examples. If you are late, I will live without you. He is broke. Broke means poor. Okay, broke means এখানে poor আসলে penniless. কিছুই না, he is poor because he spent all his money on beer. সে মদ কিনতে পারে না। যাই হোক আর কি। Although she spends a lot of time at work, she doesn't get much done. অনেক সময় ব্যয় করে কিন্তু সে কাজ এটা করে শেষ করতে পারে না। I want to do it unless you come with me. I won't do it. আমি এটা করব না। Unless you come with me, আমার সঙ্গে না আসলে। We can meet wherever you want. Okay? So these are the, you see, if you are late, dependent clause, because he, be dependent clause, although she spends, dependent clause, unless dependent clause, wherever you want, এটা dependent clause, বাদ বাকি সবই হলো স্বাধীন clause, independent clause. I think you are very much clear. You can change the order. order চেঞ্জ করা যায়, অর্থাৎ আগেরটা পরে, পরেরটা আগে নেওয়া যায়। যেমন if you are late, I will live without you. I will live without you if you are late. Because he spent all his money on beer, he's broke, means he's penniless. Okay? And now we see dependent clause, আমি যেটা আগে লিখেছি এটা করা যায় relative clause. Dependent clauses এতক্ষণ করলাম আমরা কি দিয়ে, এটা dependent clause দিয়ে, এটা relative, এটাও dependent clause but এটা relative clause. That's the guy who shouted at me. I have no idea what's going on. They gave us a cake which was made from dried beetroot. এটা এক ধরনের এটা এক ধরনের বোধহয় পালং বলে, যাই হোক আর কি। তো আমাদের সময় বোধহয় শেষ হয়ে গেছে, time is almost exhausted. So thank you very much. Now I want to go back to see how many of you are with me till now. 44. Anyway, time is already gone. So I think the rest of the discussion we can have next class, in the next class. So thank you very much for the next class, and I will be more happy if you join more and more. I want more and more of you to join my class so that you can understand my class clearly, and you please ask which point or what thing you don't understand clearly. You must ask me. Thank you very much, Mr. Kausar Ali. Allah Hafiz, and also Allah Hafiz.